In this video, we'll talk about which diseases garlic can help treat. Garlic and onions have always been a part of our lives. I remember my childhood. My mom used to keep garlic and onions in old stockings she had worn, washed, and repurposed. These foods were staples in our home, and we grew up with them. But we often don't really know what's in them, how they help us, or how they might harm us. That's exactly what I want to discuss with you today. Let's start with a little history. The ancestors of garlic were likely simple lilies, the same lilies you see growing in ponds. Garlic is believed to have originated in Central Asia, specifically the mountainous regions of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, northern Iran, and surrounding areas. In short, garlic came to us from there. The exact time it was domesticated is unknown, but garlic is considered one of the world's oldest cultivated crops. I'd even say it's not just a vegetable, it's also a spice. Garlic was highly valued by the ancient Greeks. For instance, Hippocrates used it with honey to treat lung diseases. In ancient Rome, garlic gained a reputation for its ability to fight intestinal parasites. Imagine the hygiene in ancient Rome. Roman legionnaires wore garlic around their necks, believing it to be a powerful antibacterial agent. They often ate it to chase down the murky water they had to drink from questionable sources. For many years, garlic was considered an effective remedy against the plague. It wasn't until the mid-19th century that French scientist Louis Pasteur confirmed its antiseptic properties. He placed garlic cloves on a plate with bacteria and noticed that the area around the garlic had almost no living microbes. Because of this, garlic or garlic solutions were nicknamed Russian penicillin. During World War I, garlic was widely used to fight infections. In addition to containing important nutrients like phosphorus, magnesium, selenium, manganese, and iodine, garlic is also rich in essential oils. I'm sure you're already familiar with essential oils. They're impossible to miss when someone nearby has just eaten garlic. The significance of all these compounds for the human body is hard to overstate. Describing all their actions and interactions would take forever and probably bore you. So let me focus on a few key points. For example, selenium in garlic not only protects the heart, but also helps boost the production of thyroid hormones. Did you know that? Selenium supports the production of these hormones, which is particularly effective for people with hypothyroidism. If you have hypothyroidism or knew that garlic helps with this condition, let me know in the comments. By the way, American scientists have discovered that grateful people who hit the like button live an average of 7 to 10 years longer than those who are indifferent or haters. So, let's continue. Manganese plays a crucial role in numerous internal processes and is essential for integrating calcium into bone tissue. This means, as you might guess, it helps prevent osteoporosis, one of the most serious diseases, especially common in women during the postmenopausal period. Next, we have vitamin B6. Among other things, it supports the central nervous system by promoting the production of serotonin, the happiness hormone. Garlic is also rich in tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin. On my YouTube channel, I've already made several videos explaining how tryptophan is converted into serotonin and the conditions required for this process. So happiness is within your reach. Watch and expand your knowledge. Garlic also contains very important compounds called phytoncides. These substances prevent garlic from being eaten indiscriminately. Not by you, of course, but by various bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. These bactericidal compounds help combat harmful microbes and even insects. When you eat garlic, these substances coat the mucous membrane in your mouth, protecting you from issues like my hoarse voice caused by a draft. Thanks to these properties, garlic has bactericidal, antihelminthic, antiparasitic, and fungicidal antifungal effects. The antiparasitic properties of garlic have been confirmed by scientists in various parts of the world and are widely recognized. However, it's important to understand that garlic alone is not a cure-all. Don't think of it as a universal remedy. I know how you think. Garlic does not replace standard medical treatments, and you should never attempt to treat illnesses solely with garlic without consulting a doctor. Excessive amounts of phytoncides can actually lead to serious poisoning. As for colds, it must be said that the phytoncides and essential oils in garlic do have some, albeit mild, antiviral and antibacterial properties. The ancient Romans were right when they recommended garlic to their soldiers. A recent study found that a group of people who regularly consumed garlic caught colds 3 times less frequently than those who didn't. Additionally, those who ate garlic experienced shorter illnesses, with the duration cut nearly in half. To date, garlic has undergone, take a moment to think about this, over 1,000 clinical trials that have proven its effectiveness in reducing mortality from 3 major causes. The first is high blood pressure, the second is cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and strokes, and, of course, cancer, which falls somewhere between the first 2. It has been discovered that garlic enhances the activity of the fibrinolytic system, a complex mechanism that prevents blood clots as effectively as cardioaspirin. Fibrinolytics, which are substances that dissolve fibrin, help prevent heart attacks, strokes, and pulmonary artery thrombosis. Blood vessels remain clear and the body stays healthy. Researchers at the University of Los Angeles recently found that garlic extract can successfully break down soft, newly formed cholesterol plaques in arteries. This finding has been confirmed by studies conducted in the US. Moreover, regular garlic consumption helps lower cholesterol levels, allowing some patients to reduce or even eliminate their need for daily statins. Let me know. Do you take statins? Who prescribed them to you? Would you like to avoid taking them? Maybe it's time to start adding garlic to your diet. How much garlic should you eat to ditch the statins? Stay tuned and watch this video to the end. I'll tell you everything. As always, garlic contains an organic compound called alliin. When garlic is crushed or chewed, alliin reacts with an enzyme to form a compound called allicin. This is what gives garlic its characteristic sharpness, strong smell, and distinctive taste. Thanks to allicin, garlic can lower blood pressure, on average by about 5 millimeters of mercury. Amazingly, garlic even outperforms some pharmaceutical drugs in this area. For example, garlic works as effectively as the medication atenolol. But how does this happen? What's in garlic that makes blood vessels relax and blood pressure drop? It turns out that allicin helps relax the smooth muscle fibers surrounding blood vessels. When these muscles relax, the vessels dilate. If they contract, the vessels narrow. And when vessels narrow, blood pressure, as you probably guessed, goes up. By relaxing the vessels, garlic effectively lowers blood pressure. But that's not all. Garlic contains a good amount of magnesium, which also plays a vital role. Let me remind you, we've already covered magnesium in a video on this channel. So how does it work? During stress, your body releases magnesium into the bloodstream, which helps blood vessels relax. Stress causes blood vessels, including those around the heart, to constrict. When this happens, a partially blocked artery can narrow even further, cutting off the blood supply to the heart and causing a heart attack. Magnesium works alongside garlic as a teammate, helping to relax the vessels. Together, they support vascular health, making it easier to manage stress with a smile, even when dealing with the most aggravating people. Since we're already talking about garlic's benefits for blood circulation, how can we not mention men's health? The condition of blood vessels directly affects the blood flow to the pelvic organs, which is particularly important for men. Stagnant processes in the prostate are a common issue. Garlic, combined with cranberries, is an excellent remedy for preventing prostatitis. In fact, we recently made a video about the antibacterial properties of cranberries. Garlic and cranberries together make a natural medicine for prostate health. For optimal male health, proper blood flow is essential, and garlic helps ensure this. You won't need pills like Viagra. Garlic can take care of it. Unless, of course, the smell scares away your partner. Additionally, garlic promotes testosterone production, which boosts male libido. For this purpose, men are advised to try a garlic tincture. Here's how to prepare it. Take 1 kilogram of garlic and half a liter of vodka. Chop the garlic, pour the vodka over it, seal the container tightly, and let it sit in a dark place for a week. That is, of course, if the vodka doesn't mysteriously disappear from the jar in the meantime. After that, strain the mixture through cheesecloth and 1 tablespoon 3 times a day, 30 minutes before meals. The typical course of treatment lasts 3 days, followed by a 10-day break. Afterward, the process can be repeated for another 3 or 4 days. Nowadays, the pharmaceutical market, ever so caring, offers a wide range of garlic-based products. However, I believe it's better to stick with good old natural garlic, the kind we've used all our lives, instead of taking more pills. Our lives are already dominated by a constant reliance on medications. I don't even know how many pills you take daily. We're forced to constantly take medications for cholesterol, blood pressure, blood clots, diabetes, hypothyroidism, uric acid, the list goes on. Honestly, the sheer number of pills is overwhelming. In traditional medicine, garlic has long been known as a powerful healing remedy. Even today, in many countries around the world, garlic remains one of the main components of folk remedies. For example, in India, it's used to treat asthma. The French rely on it to combat the flu. The Germans use it for tuberculosis. In Italy and Spain, traditional healers recommend garlic for intestinal issues, while in Afghanistan, it's considered beneficial for lung diseases and general fatigue. However, it's important not to overestimate garlic's properties. The key thing to remember, despite this video being titled, "What Diseases Does Garlic Treat?" is that garlic is a spice, not a standalone food or a miracle cure. You can and should use it as part of a treatment, but only in combination with other medications and under a doctor's supervision. Now, here's the big question. How much garlic should you eat daily to get all its benefits? You might be surprised, but just 2 cloves in the morning and 2 in the evening are enough. If you're worried about garlic breath, you can skip the evening dose to avoid scaring your partner before bed. However, it's best to eat garlic in the morning after a meal, not on an empty stomach. We often talk about the medicinal properties of garlic, and it can create the impression that it's a miracle drug. For example, in 2008, the health minister of one country recommended garlic as the main remedy for fighting HIV. Perhaps there were simply no other treatments available at the time. Otherwise, I can't explain it. And do you remember in 2009, during the swine flu epidemic in China, how rumors about garlic's miraculous powers led to a surge in demand? The price of garlic skyrocketed. Guess by how much? By 40 times. You should be particularly cautious when giving garlic to children. It's often used as a preventative measure for the flu and respiratory infections. However, even if a child isn't allergic, consuming too much garlic can cause severe stomach and intestinal pain. This is because children's digestive systems are so delicate. Their epithelial tissue, esophagus, and intestines are all much more sensitive. Now, a few words about oncology. Scientists have long discovered the anti-cancer properties of certain components in garlic. To maximize these properties, it's best to chop garlic cloves into small pieces and let them sit for 10 minutes before cooking. During this time, the disruption of cellular structure triggers chemical reactions in the garlic, creating compounds that can have a destructive effect on cancer cells. That characteristic smell of garlic, it's caused by allicin, the compound formed in these reactions. Allicin has been found to actively help, not cure, but help in the treatment of lung cancer. However, this applies only to primary tumors, not cases where, for example, prostate cancer metastasizes to the lungs. In such cases, the lung tumor is secondary. Garlic specifically helps with primary lung tumors and has shown significant benefits in these cases. According to research by Chinese scientists, consuming 1 bulb of garlic twice a week reduces the risk of lung cancer by 44%, even among those in high-risk groups, such as smokers. For cancer cells to divide and metastasize, they require a constant supply of nutrients. However, allicin, a compound found in garlic, effectively induces what we might call starvation in tumor tissues. It reduces the flow of nutrients to cancer cells, blocking pathways for the spread of malignant cells. They stop growing, dividing, and metastasizing. As a powerful antioxidant, allicin even partially destroys cancer cells. That's why, in my practice of optimizing the diets of cancer patients, especially those with lung cancer, I always recommend the daily consumption of garlic. Additionally, garlic contains a compound called sarnine, which, together with sulfur compounds, enhances the effects of allicin, according to researchers from the American Institute for Cancer Research. These compounds have anti-cancer properties, slowing or even stopping the growth of malignant tumors in the colon, esophagus, stomach, and bladder. Interestingly, garlic's sulfur compounds can cross the blood-brain barrier and fight glioblastoma, one of the most aggressive forms of brain cancer. The blood-brain barrier separates the blood supply from the brain, and very few substances can penetrate it. However, garlic's components can, making it a valuable tool against glioblastoma. Today, garlic is known to help combat approximately 13 types of malignant tumors. These include melanoma, leukemia, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, cervical cancer, liver cancer, stomach cancer, osteosarcoma, lymphoma, and several others. Regular garlic consumption also stimulates hematopoiesis, the process of forming blood cells, which is often suppressed by chemotherapy. This makes garlic a potentially beneficial supplement to cancer treatment. Of course, it doesn't replace primary treatments and should only be used under the guidance of a doctor. And then there's selenium, another compound found in garlic, which helps prevent complications from chemotherapy. Selenium makes chemotherapy easier to tolerate, protects the body from side effects, and helps prevent chromosomal damage to DNA. At Loma Linda University in California, experiments were conducted using gamma radiation on human leukocytes. In most cases, the cells died after high doses of radiation, which is expected. However, white blood cells cultured in garlic extract remained viable. The researchers conducting the study were astonished and concluded that garlic is an excellent preventative tool for people undergoing radiation therapy, particularly as part of comprehensive cancer treatment. Even a quick look at how garlic affects the body reveals its significant role in fighting cancer. However, official medicine still does not recommend garlic for cancer patients. No oncologist will tell you, eat garlic, it's very beneficial for you. Unfortunately, this means patients rarely receive guidance on how to adjust their diets for their specific type of cancer. Doctors primarily focus on chemotherapy or surgery, with nutrition often seen as secondary. The most they might suggest is drinking plenty of water during chemotherapy and maintaining a healthy diet to avoid cachexia, severe weight loss. However, while supporting your body, you may inadvertently nourish the tumor as well. To avoid this, it's crucial to choose foods that provide essential nutrients for your body while depriving the tumor of the same resources, effectively keeping it hungry. Doctors in hospitals and oncology centers, unfortunately, don't focus on this aspect. According to statistics, millions of people worldwide die from cancer every year. That's around 40% of the population. And yet, most of these patients are given no guidance or explanations. It's worth noting that properly using garlic could significantly strengthen the immune defenses of cancer patients and greatly reduce mortality rates. I'm not suggesting you stop taking your medications. Absolutely not. Many drugs are essential, genuinely help, save lives, and extend life, especially for cancer patients. That's not up for debate. My goal is simply to draw your attention to the fact that nature has already given us effective ways to combat some of the most severe diseases. Unlike chemotherapy, these methods have no side effects and are far less expensive. It's truly unfortunate that most cancer patients aren't even aware of this. Now, I hope there's no doubt left in your mind that garlic is highly beneficial and should be consumed daily. However, we must remember that this vegetable contains powerful compounds, and overconsumption can lead to unwanted consequences and even worsen certain conditions. When consuming garlic, especially for medicinal purposes, it's essential to be cautious and avoid overdoing it. After all, you don't want to end up rubbing garlic all over yourself from head to toe. I know how some of you think. You should also limit garlic consumption on an empty stomach and before upcoming surgeries, as it affects blood clotting. If you're taking blood-thinning medications like cardioaspirin, garlic can enhance their effects, potentially causing bleeding. Additionally, garlic should be avoided if you have pancreatitis, gallstone disease, have had your gallbladder removed, or suffer from liver conditions. Garlic stimulates the digestive system, which can lead to spasms or heartburn. Garlic is also contraindicated for those with epilepsy, as it may trigger a seizure. So those are the main contraindications. Now, let's address the infamous garlic odor that so many people fear. How can I eat garlic in the morning if I have to go to work? How can I eat it at night if I'm sharing a bed with my husband or wife? Well, let's talk about that smell and how to neutralize it. The solution is actually very simple. Animal fats can help eliminate garlic odor from your system. For example, you can eat garlic with cheese or wash it down with milk. Lemon, apple, or mint leaves can also help get rid of the smell.
List of sources in the description below the video. Watch these videos next, and I look forward to your likes and comments.